Just having a look around another one of these churches in another one of these beautiful little villages around my region. I've come to this church many times. I used to come here to work out. As curious as it would sound, and nobody ever bothered me. I just do my stretching and press-ups and squats and things like that amongst the graves. So look what we've got going on here. They made this sort of enclosure with these tombstones. Now, we don't suppose for a minute that that's how they buried everyone. They're too close. It looks like they created this as some sort of soil retaining wall and an entrance way, because this was pertaining to the church. And I don't know why they couldn't have just walked around and gone in that way, but as there's two doors, well, I suppose they wanted two entrances. And so I wonder what that was, that little housing there, little storeroom, something. Oh, look how ancient the slates are on the roof. Ancient, people. Now, something occurred to me today. I've often mentioned that there's yew trees and firs and pine trees and that variety. Suffice to say, evergreens. There's always evergreens in churchyards. And some of these trees, they have religious connotations, they have folklore connotations, warding off witches, like the holly tree, and the yew tree has got some sort of religious connotation. I forget what it is now, but then it occurred to me, well, it's also because they don't want deciduous trees. They don't want trees that drop their leaves, because then they'd be ever cleaning the leaves up, wouldn't they? So that one eventually dawned on me. Now, I've never been into this church, albeit I would love to. I love how they're all so very, very manicured. It's a beautiful building, and one day I will go in to see what it's like inside. But this one struck me. This one struck me hard. Of course it did. Now, not only because it looks like it's the oldest here, but because of the Star of David. And isn't that the thing with Jews? It doesn't matter where they're born, anywhere on the world, they're always laying claim to their origin of the chosen ones. And this person could have been born and bred in Britain, but if they had Jewish heritage, they'd always be a Jew. No other nation does that, people. No other creed does it. If someone was born... No. If someone had African parents and the parents emigrated to Britain and then gave birth to a child, well, the child will be British, of African descent, but British. But Jews, they're never British or German, they're always Jews. It doesn't matter where they're born or anything like that, they're always Jews. Now, this boozer over there, it used to have, it used to be called a different name, and it had the year. It was much more interesting when it did that. That cottage there, Ivy Cottage, 1898, not that old, but that one dated back to about 1670. And you can see it's a much older building. It would have had a thatched roof originally. But they've gone and ruined it now by taking off the year it was established. So again, you've got these beautiful trees, perfectly manicured, lawns. Sup on the old ale. Hits the GABA receptors, puts you into the bliss, man, in moderation. Then he goes too far. So very nice. This is where I used to work out. Over here at the edge, over there on that nice soft grass. Now it's a shame we can't decipher any of the information from that, but they're pretty old. Died the 15th, 1859 or something, aged 52. Back in the day, people, back in the day. 1851, Sarah Kennedy, January the 19th, 1851, 82 years, she did alright. Back in the day then, she did alright, didn't she? Let's have a look round the back. Nice and peaceful around the back. It's such a shame that these places are not utilised anymore. You wonder what's going on, don't you? You wonder if they're just clinging on, hoping that there's going to be a revival. And there is a revival. There most certainly is a Christian revival going on. But it's not the sort of revival which encourages people to come to these joints. They may proclaim they're Christian and, I don't know, they may pray or read a bit of the New Testament. They may label themselves as being Christian as opposed to any other creed or religion. But it's a different ballgame these days. These places are cold, they're empty, they are godless. I once did a series and it was called 7 Meditations in 7 Churches. And I visited 7 churches in a city when you can find them open. And I did 7 meditations. And one of them was Lincoln Cathedral. And these meditations I did for about an hour. And very pleasant because it's quiet. But there's nothing religious, nothing spiritual. I never had any spiritual downloads or anything of any significance at all. It was just empty. Whereas if I meditated by a river or on a mountain, I'd get some cosmic downloads, man. So there's something about these places, they're vacuous. There's nothing going on. They put benches here and there, trying to encourage people to spend a bit of time, but they don't. I never ever see anyone. spending time in these places. And you wonder what they could be used for. What could they be used for? They could be used for Muslim meeting places. They could be used for Muslim hangouts. They could be used for Muslim training grounds. Ah, there's a thing. Oh, they're already doing that in mosques. Training for the Holy Jihad, by the way. Do any of you listen to Tommy Robinson? Tommy Robinson is telling you all about this stuff. The jihadists, they're training for this. They're teaching their youth in the mosques how to do this into people's, if any utterance is made in disrespect to Allah or Muhammad. And of course they're all tooled up with machetes and everything like that. And all the caliphs, they condone it. They accept it and they encourage it. They actually encourage it. And so because of this, then Tommy Robinson has been educating people into this and encouraging them to get fit and to get strong and to train in fighting. I watched a video with him speaking to Starkey. What's his name? The intellectual Starkey. I don't know what his first name is. But he's an old guy, he's very intellectual. On the circuit, speaking about political stuff. And Tommy Robinson himself, I wonder if by mentioning that name it's going to get this video not suitable for advertisement. I guess it would. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But he now is on this serious fitness regime thing, getting himself in shape and encouraging everyone else to do it. And the march is coming up, isn't it? Is it in May? May the 16th, something like that in London? A huge march. And so they're all getting fit and ready. They're all rattling their swords and shields. Yeah. Wow. Bring it on, that's what I say. Bring it on. So I've just been sitting down there on the bench and enjoying the very pleasant weather, sipping on my beer and eating my favourite McCoy's